All right, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having an amazing day. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Just hopping on a little bit early here so we can wait for 8:30 before we get started with our pre-market prep. As you guys know, Fridays we don't do engineering the markets, but I'm sitting here just waiting for 8:30, so I figured let me just jump on the mic and see where this goes. So hopefully you guys had a good day. Yesterday we had a lot of fun pre-market action with Sonoa, if you guys remember that. So in the chat room, a lot of us took this trade. It was just so active in the pre-market. So hopefully you took advantage of it. I usually don't see these this early on, but I caught this one really early, 709. I remember that entry. And again, it's very difficult to tell at that time if something is going to be this good or not, because it could just pop up and slam back down. So so many things could happen. But this one, the volume was coming in very clean. If you look at the 1 minute, also very clean action on the 1 minute. So it just looked like, okay, this thing can actually get going. If you see right on here how great those candles, no, that's small. Let me make this up a little bigger, right over here. Perfect. So if you look at this, I mean, it looked really good from the start, guys. You're building some really good candles on the 1 minute, and you can see here just the volume just pouring in here, guys, in the pre-market. So turned out to be really good here. Did get some consolidation here in the pre-market for about almost 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes. 8 o'clock starts to do another run again, and then again just comes right back down to the VWAP and the moving averages, but it's just traded very nice. Now at the market open, pre-market was so much cleaner than the actual market open. um I'll show the 5 minute on the market open. So if we look at this, you did get this initial pump, and I know some traders took this, but man, it just struggled to get above 13 here. And if you guys remember this entry here when Andrew took it here, I mean, he got in, he took a, actually no, I think was this the halt? I forget now. I forget if this, where was the halt? Actually, hold on, we'll look for it. Let's look at the one. I know we're all halted here for, okay, so halted happened a little earlier. We're all halted here. Then, they didn't really push up much, came back down, consolidated here. Volume starts coming in. And this was wild, if you guys remember this. I mean, this is a danger with low flow stocks, right? This thing popped up and hit 13. It had the volume to keep going, and then it just slams back down, guys. This thing drops from 13, was this 30 or so, all the way down to 12. This is why you don't chase these stocks, right? A lot of us had a good entry. Well, I was still in at this time. Yeah, I was still in at this time because again, my entry was a 7. By this time, I was more than half out of the position. But you're sitting at 7, you're comfortable through this. But if you're getting, jumping in here or chasing it here, and next thing you know, you're down a buck and a half, man, that is tough. So you never chase these candles here, these low flow stocks. It can be very, very dangerous. So, but that was action on Sonoa, and we had some pretty good ones too yesterday. We have a Macy's. Macy's was nice. We'll talk about that later. 8:30. mRNA was okay. Apple was great yesterday. Baba was good. X, I didn't have X on my list. I traded X as well. X was nice. This was a beautiful short here, and it's so funny. So as we're trading X, good morning, guys. Everybody that's joining, good morning, good morning. And over on YouTube as well, good morning. This one, it was so funny when you take these trades, right? And this is why a community, when you're part of a chat room or community, you have to have a plan. Although we're sitting together here, we're trading together, we're calling out information, you have to have a plan when you take a trade, or else, somebody calls something else that's different from what you're doing, that can put you a little nervous at times, right? So on X, I remember I went short somewhere around here. It was very early on. I believe it was here. And yeah, it was right around here. Actually, a little bit lower. It was not that great of an entry. It was like over here, stop loss above the VWAP. And as it's coming down, I have a target to get out. I think it was very aggressive. We had a level at 27 or so. And as it's coming down, Brian is on the mic and he's saying, I'm going to take this for a long. And I'm like, oh no, the prophet of prophets is going to take this position against me. So, you start thinking, should I get out the trade? Should I stick with my plan? And I decided to stick with my plan, and I did. And guess what? We both made money on this. He got in here for his long, popped up here towards the VWAP. He took a couple of partial side. And these are big moves, guys. If you look to the side over here, it might look small, 28, 20. from 27.80, right? That's a nice pop on a $28 stock. So he took his reversal here towards the VWAP. He did very well. And then from there, thankfully, I didn't get stopped out, didn't go above the VWAP, and it was able to drop. So he made his move, and I made my move. So, but if you're new and you see something like that, you can sometimes get shaken out of your plan. So you have to have a trade plan in place. It's very, very important. And in our education center, we teach that about, building your trade plan and in trade book and sticking to it. It's very, 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 very important. All right. Any questions we might have that we can answer? I know yesterday or the day before, as I catch up on my emails, I did get an email from Jay. And Jay was referring to the gist of the email is he was asking why sometimes I put stocks in the secondary list, right? Just by quickly looking at them. And although they look good, sometimes they end up not working out for whatever reason. So let's look. His example was ZIM. So ZIM here, this was on the 18. This was on our gappers list. And his question is, why did I completely dismiss this one right away instead of putting it up on the list, right? The volume was good. The gap up was great. And here's the thing that I look at is the volume, guys. Volume is king. You got to remember that. Volume is so, so important when it comes to the way we trade. And in the pre-market, it could be a little bit, I want to say deceiving at first, because you can have something that has great volume and trades very well, and at the market open is completely crap. And we've seen that with PLTR. We see that with Plug. These are stocks that we look at all the time, that they have an incredible pre-market action. The market opens and they just go sideways, right? So when I looked at this, I'm sure, I don't remember exactly, this was on the 18 again. We looked through so many stocks. I can't remember each and every single one of them. But looking at this and not worrying about this over here, and not worrying about even this volume for this day, right? Because you're not going to see that. I probably looked at the volume, right? I came down here and said, man, we're trading less than 4 million shares on the daily here. And the issue with that is that most likely those type of stocks that have that type of volume are just not going to trade very well. They're not used to trading nice. Now, can you have the exception? Absolutely. But for the most part, you are not going to get that. And that's the issue with some of these stocks here. So we have the daily here. On it, you can also see how choppy it is and just how light the volume is. In some cases, some of these stocks will break out of that. It did trade half of its, more than half of its regular volume, less than 4 million. It did trade 8, but again, that's just still not enough for us to have a good trading day. So this is why I took it off my list quickly, put it as a secondary, because it can have potential. It is a nice pop. It is breaking out. But again, if that volume is not there, it tends to trade like that. And there's some other ones that we had this week as well that popped up pretty big, but their volume was just horrible. And even though they popped up pretty big, and I know some people kept it on their list, you go back and look at that pre-market action, and it was pretty bad. How would you interpret high volume on a doji candle, reversal signal? High volume, it's tricky because it also depends on the stock. So for example, high volume on NEO compared to like a stock like this is very, very different. So it's very difficult to tell from one single candle what is high volume. But at the market open, at the market open, we are looking at individual candles, volume on individual candles, right? Because you can do that. You're getting that much volume. But in the pre-market, you have to look at it as a whole. So you got to look at the entire volume. You can't really do it by candles because, again, the volume is sometimes lighter than usual. So when you have something trading 500,000 shares, 600,000 shares in the pre-market, at a decent price, that's not a low flow, right? Low flow is completely different. We treat those very different. We want to see millions of shares on low flows being traded, right? In a good, clean pre-market action. On an AMD, on a NEO, on a PFE, if you're trading that one, you want to see at least 500,000, 200,000. You want to see good, clean action. So you look at the entire volume. I don't never look at in the pre-market, oh, well, how much is this candle doing? How much volume is in here? You can't do that. Now at the market open, if you want to see, okay, this volume, it's getting exhausted on the buyer side, on the seller side, you just got to look down here per candle and see when that volume is getting above everything else, right? So you have your average volume, and you can also see it towards the bottom, when something is getting over what the norm is on those candles. So you can see topping action, bottoming action based on that volume. And there's tons of great, we can't get into too much details, but there's tons of great videos by Thor, explaining how volume works, going into the level 2. We have plenty of those in our education center. So if you have questions on that, You can definitely check those out. All right, question here in the chat. Someone mentioned, can we look at Macy's? Yeah, let's look at Macy's. Macy's here. What we have from Macy's. So Macy's, oh, yesterday, yeah. So yeah, it was amazing. I didn't trade it, but this thing was just on fire. Yesterday, Macy's showed us that retail stocks can trade very well, and it did just that, guys. Great pre-market action. We knew it was going to be in play. It was on top of our list here. And then you can see here the beautiful action. If you zoom into the 1 minute, the 5 minute, actually, we could do that. Let's zoom in here. And you can see here just how great this was. A little sell-off, which is cool because, you know, you are popping up a little bit. People are going to take profits. And then I love this engulfing pattern here, especially on the 5 minute. You know, this is real nice. You get this engulfing, you know, above the VWAP. This is usually an indication that we want to go the other way. Doesn't work 100% of the time, guys. And that's the thing about trading. Nothing works 100% of the time. This is why sometimes it's very difficult to to have a great confidence in trading, because you can have this exact same pattern. Actually, there was another trade that did this exact same pattern. I believe it was Apple mRNA. We'll take a look at it in a second. And it just won't work. You know, everything is right. The signals are there. The volume is there, and it just won't work. And then, you know, your confidence takes a big hit when stuff like that happens. So you got to shake that off and get used to that very, very quickly, of things being 100% correct as far as your indicators and not working out, right? Don't let that affect your confidence. Don't let it make you overtrade. Don't let it do things that are outside of your trading guidelines. Very, very important. For those joining us, good morning. I see a couple of people popping in. We do not have engineering the markets on Friday, but I figure we hop on and we do coffee with Carlos or something. I don't know. We'll figure a name out if we do this every Friday going forward. So here you can see this little engulfing pattern, and then it just takes off. I mean, just completely clean, guys. And look at the levels we're hitting. I mean, let's give credit to the levels that we did yesterday, guys. We did a pretty good job here at 1983, 2038, right? These are off the daily. We're not just randomly putting these numbers here. Look at this one, 2109. I mean, come on. I mean, are we all looking at the same thing here or what? So very, very nice. Another pop over here all the way to 2220 as well. This was, we didn't have a level up here. I think we stopped at 2109. I don't think we had the confidence that this thing was going to go any higher, being a retail company. And it did. It traded very, very well. Tons of opportunities here, guys. Here it gets a little, right, it gets a little extended, a little toppy, but it manages to just consolidate. It doesn't drop down, not even to the 20 on the 5. You know, sticks to the 9, consolidates, and then takes off here. So again, just a beautiful, beautiful trade here. You can see here just slamming against that level 2109 again, and then takes off all the way to 22. I mean, this stock had everything yesterday. Traded very, very well. Now, talking about this engulfing pattern when it does not work, let's take a look at I think this was mRNA or maybe Apple. Here it is. Here's Apple. Nice huge pop, right? Then you get this sell down right back down towards below the moving averages, below the VWAP, and now you're thinking, man, this thing could be a short. And it doesn't, right? It hesitates. It opens up here. It does push down, but it cannot make a new low, right? This is very important. So let's say you did take this trade here, and as it's pushing down, it cannot make a new low, and it pushes up like this. Hopefully, you're able to take a partial if it's, you know, part of your trading plan or trade management, and hopefully get out of it, because if it can make a new low or at least meet it, you know, that's usually an indication that the stock does not want to sell off, right? So here it fails, right? Perfect engulfing pattern right below the moving averages in the VWAP, which is what you want to see. You don't want this thing stopping at the VWAP, right? You want it to go through it and continue down and close red, right? You want it to close red. You don't want it to be closing up here. That could just be a pullback. And it just doesn't work. You did nothing wrong here. It just did not work. It finds support here. And it struggles for a little bit to get above this 145. I don't know. This must have been the pre-market high there. Struggles big time. Finally is able to break out of that, and you can see goes up right to the high of the day at that time. Slants back down to the moving averages. Beautiful ABCD pattern, and then the takeoff here with volume. So you can see a slightly bigger volume there. You have to really zoom in. Probably on the 1 minute, it's a little bit more clear. But you can see the takeoff here. That was nice. And again, continues to do these patterns all the way up. So Apple, very, very nice as well. Baba was good yesterday too, guys. Baba was real nice. Struggled to get above this 167. We know this stock is going to be in play for some time. I mean, if you like trading Baba and you're good at it, I think you should be having a very wonderful time with Baba the last couple of days. So here it is, struggles to get above that. You can see there it's trying to stay above the VWAP. It cannot. And then just the drop off here towards the low of the day. This 164 level was also pre-market low, I would assume, maybe. And then you can see the drop here, just nice with volume. So it's traded very well. Held on to the 9, tested the 20 a couple of times, couldn't get above it. Sets up, there must be some kind of daily level here as well, right? You can see how clear that is, that 163. There must be something there because that's just so clean there. It's not bouncing off the moving averages. It's just bouncing off the 163. So if we throw a level there and we go to the daily, we probably got to go back because we haven't been down here in some time. We have not been down here in some time. So 163, there's something good here. Yeah, you have some stuff here. You have some stuff there around 163. Not the cleanest daily, but you do got something. I would expect something more clean. I wouldn't put too much weight on something like this here, but yeah, you definitely got some stuff happening there. How about GPS? Let's take a look. GPS yesterday. GPS, is this gap? No, this is not. Is it gap? Yes, it is gap. How did it do yesterday? This is another one that doesn't trade very well. Another retail company. Yesterday, but man, retail's had a great day yesterday. This one also, for the way it trades, it did actually very good. Not better than Macy's, probably not better than Kohl's, but it did take off here. Yes, it had a good day overall. Volume though is a little bit light. 8 million. That price action it wouldn't be amazing, right? That price action wouldn't be amazing at 8 million. You can tell he got a couple of candles that don't look great. If compared to like a Macy's who was really, oops, guys, if that does happen to you, what I just did there, I hit symbol and it kind of sorted things out here. You can go ahead and on right click and you can bring in user defined list. Just click on that. I'm actually not showing you guys. Hold on. So what I did was I clicked on symbol here. And if that happens to you, you can just right click here and you can hit user define and it'll put it back the way you had it. So we're talking about Macy's, right? You can see how much cleaner Macy's was, right? You can see how nice these cans are building with volume. I mean, they traded 138 million yesterday when they normally do, like about 20 million. I mean, that is sweet, sweet, sweet. So pretty good stuff happening there. All right, cool. Any other questions? Anything else that we should look at before we get started in our pre-market show? As we're having our coffee, getting started up and fired up for Friday. Today, Gappers list looking a little bit light this morning. So not a whole lot in here. Some of these stocks, they don't trade very well. BTBT is on here. We got NCTY, a little bit of some low flow action. Emrin, we'll see what's happening there. FL, is that Foot Locker? It doesn't trade very well though. I remember the ticker. I think that's Foot Locker. CLOV, we'll see what's happening there. And we have some other ones here. Sanoa, second day of demand is they're down 9% today. We'll have to see how they're going to trade today after such a great day yesterday. Harry, what is the secret of being right 105% of the time, or 1005% of the time? There's none. There's absolutely no way to be right 105% or 1005% of the time. Just can't happen. You are going to be wrong, and you got to get used to it very quickly, and you got to deal with it. And it's difficult. And I always tell people that you have to when they send me an email asking for advice because things are going this and that. I always tell them you have to really find because trading has a lot to do with personality. So you really have to find what are some of your great characteristics that you have as a person, as a professional, as a husband, as a wife, that are great in that, but are not good in trading. And I'll give you one example. Mine is I'm very optimistic. My risk tolerance is extremely high. As I'm far as my personal life, starting adventures, doing this, doing that, way too high. My wife does not appreciate that at all. And if you bring that to trading, that could be a big problem because early on, what I kept doing is I kept averaging down. That was one of my biggest issues because I'm optimistic. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's going to drop. This is another pullback, another pullback. How low can it go? Right. And I have this from just my personal mentality. And again, it worked great in my professional career where I was able to, just put in work. It's going to work. Let's do this. Let's figure it out. And that got me to a place where, man, I actually did pretty well. But you bring that into trading and you're going to get killed. And you got to really find out what are some great things that you do in your personal life that can be hindering your trading. Very, very important. And once you find that out, you can, start to correct those things in trading. So you're not going to be 100% right. Doesn't happen, doesn't exist, but you can get better every single week, right? So worry about getting better each day, getting better every single week, do better than the previous month, than the previous quarter. That's the way you want to gauge yourself and focus on stuff like that, right? But yeah, find that out. Find out what some of your powerful uh personalities that you have that are engraved into what you do that are great, and make sure those things are not, they're not damaging your trading. Very, very important. All right, Peter, my man, he's on. I'm gonna hop on my camera here and we'll get things rolling. Let's see where Peter is. Hopefully we can hear Peter today. Peter, where you going? Peter got his shorts on. Are those swim trunks, Peter? I don't know if he can he hear me? Are those swim trunks, my man? Oh, you know what? I don't have my headphones on. Hold on a second.
Oh, I'm on mute. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Yeah, they're nice proper shorts.
All right.
I'm ready to go golfing if the need arises.
There we go. We're doing laid back Friday. That's good. Peter,
Carlos.
now I hear you.
Okay.
How's it going?
Fantastic. Yeah, Mad Max, I am actually wearing pants, unlike other people who shall not be named.
Brian.
Well,
No, we had a new one. We had a new one this week as well.
Yeah, just yesterday, or maybe was it yesterday or was it Wednesday?
I can't remember, but we'll try to forget the image as soon as we can.
Exactly. The image is unfortunately seared into my brain, but that was yesterday. Yeah, all right.
That was yesterday. Okay, we quickly are trying to forget it like it was last week or something. Guys, welcome to Pre-Market Prep. You're just joining us 8:30 a.m. So let's get started here. Let's take a look at some of the stuff we had yesterday. We kind of went through some of it already, but we'll do just a quick review for those that are joining us now. If you're over on YouTube, guys, hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very, very much. It helps us a ton here when you do that. So we had Macy's yesterday, guys. Just amazing stuff. Macy's was incredible. It was great pre-market action. The volume yesterday was insane. And as I mentioned earlier, Macy's was one of those trades that one of those days for Macy's that shows that retail stuff can trade well at times when I think they had earnings, right, Peter? That was their thing yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
So it did very well here, guys. Again, engulfing pattern, took off here, hit all the levels that we had here on our chart, and again, just traded very well. We went through that already. mRNA, again, not as clean, a little bit choppier than usual. You had a little chop here, but it couldn't stay above the VWAP, and you see that right on there, struggling to do that. And when you see a stock take such a drop like this through the VWAP, everyone is on the same page that this thing is not looking that strong, right? You see that huge drop right on there. People want this stuff to stay above this level here, to stay above the moving averages. Once it can do that, it cannot do that. You can see the drop there. And then now the VWAP becomes resistance, right? Tries to get above one more time, doesn't happen. Now you can see that this thing does want to go for a short. And you can see how it drops here. Again, not the cleanest. We've definitely seen better activity from mRNA the last couple of days. Here is Apple. Apple also took a bit to get going. A couple of fake outs here. You got the nice engulfing pattern. Looks like it's going to be weak. Doesn't actually sell off. Comes back above the VWAP. And then from here on, it does trade very well, guys. Breaks the 145 level. You can see hitting the high of the day here around 146 at that time. Comes back, hits the moving averages, and this 145 level now becomes support, which is great. And then the takeoff again, just traded very, very clean. Love what we saw from Apple yesterday. BABA was also in play, guys. Struggled to get above this pre-market high here, as you can see. Comes below the VWAP. You see the volume increasing here on weakness, and then you can see the nice drop following the 9 moving average. And then look at our levels, man. Our levels were on point yesterday, guys. We did a good job here. 163. You can see how that becomes support and then resistance, and then heads all the way down to this 159.56 that we had on our daily level, right? These are all daily levels on here. So pretty good stuff there. PFE, you know what? I didn't really watch PFE. I don't think it was great. I didn't pay attention to it. I don't know how the price action was. I know there were a couple of people talking about it in the website, on the chat room, but our main one that I kept an eye on, guys, based on Brian, I think a couple of people in the chat room calling it out. So thank you for that. We had an amazing trade on X yesterday, so this was nice. I had a nice short. Brian had a nice long here against me. We both made out pretty well on this one, and again, it just turned out to be in a beautiful trade, all the way down to 27 down here. So pretty nice. And we cannot forget really quickly about Sanoa, SNOA. This thing was an animal. And in the chat room, we saw a lot of us caught this very, very early on in the chat room. So that was nice. We were all in here, or a lot, not all of us, but a lot, some of us were in here around $7, man. So this thing turned out pretty nice. Took off, never retested our entry down here. Some people got in a little bit later, around $8. Again, just the volume and the pre-market action, everything was clean. The 5-minute looks good, but if you look at the 1 minute, you'll see how clean this thing was yesterday and how great volume it had. Does take off here nicely, and then it goes all the way up to 1350 at the market open, and then from there it just became pretty nasty. It was not really tradable after that. There's just too much manipulation happening there. Big guys were coming in and just dumping their shares. I mean, this drop here, guys, was insane. I have not seen a drop like that in a very, very long time. This thing took off here with amazing volume, hits 1330-ish or so, and then you got this huge drop. I mean, just insane.
Carlos, if I
Yeah,
can interject there, there's a great
absolutely.
lesson in this too, because you've got to be careful about chasing this. We talk about this all the time. There's absolutely opportunity in the low floats. Carlos, you sort of shared with us how you had entered this pre-market and were able to hold it throughout this whole move. Andrew started trying to trade this, and we know he knows what he's doing, right? He tried to trade this at the open and lost a lot of money because he was getting in looking for the bigger bounce. It didn't happen. That choppiness just chopped them up 3 or 4 times on different trades, and he ended up losing quite a bit and had to try and make it up on other trades. So, your perspective on how well this went obviously depended on how you played it and where you entered. So just a word to the wise there, like we warn you every single morning, careful when you play these, don't chase them, make sure you have a plan.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. All right, guys, with that said, let's go over to the market pulse and see how we're ending the week.
Yeah, the only thing we have on the calendar for today is the Dallas Fed's President Rob Kaplan speaks at 11. Again, I have no expectation that will have any impact on the market. Overall, we're still dealing with the major headwinds that we've been talking about essentially all week. We're seeing finally the SPY maybe sort of hit a top here. We've been pulling down throughout the first 4 days of this week. We'll see if that continues through today. We still have the drag on the Chinese stocks out there, and as well as we're seeing weakness in the EV stocks. Technology as a sector has certainly seen some pressure in a number of places. We've been watching, of course, Apple and AMD amongst others, and we'll see what happens. It is a Friday in summer, so you know what? I think what we should generally expect is what we've seen consistently for the last, 3 to 4 weeks now,
Yep.
where we should get some good movement right at the open that'll last for an hour, maybe 90 minutes. Then we'll see that taper off and a lot more choppiness come into the afternoon with a pretty quiet close of the day. But that being said, just because that's what normally happens, there's no guarantee that's what will happen today. Maybe we'll have a fantastic afternoon that'll make our months. Who knows? But I'll be here and I'll be watching carefully. And like I say, the alligator in the watering hole, I'll be waiting for my spot and only taking trades where they make sense.
Absolutely, well said, Peter. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's see what we have on deck here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this watch list from yesterday, and we'll start with Emrin this morning. So Emrin, low flow stock, 10 million shares traded. We have traded this one before in the past. This morning, they're very active, guys, 3.5 million. I don't like the setup on the pre-market right now, and the reason is because if you look at Sanoa yesterday, that's the way I like things to start when it comes to lower flow stocks, right? If you look at Sanoa yesterday, I just want to share what I like and what looks good. It kind of ramps up slowly here, right? It gets going, builds up the volume, and then you start building the pattern. If you look at the 1 minute, it looks even much better than that. Now, if you look at Emrin, what you're getting here is you're getting a pop this morning, right? You have a nice little pop here this morning that created that probably the chunk of the move, and now you're just kind of selling down below the moving averages, right? You're not showing any strength at all as you're selling down in the pre-market. Still up 18.5, guys. The stock is still crushing it right now as far as percentage, as far as volume. But for low flow stock, I'd rather see the opposite of this, not what this is doing now when it comes to these lower flow stocks. Now, we do have shares for sure, but I always remind you, shorting low flow stocks is, for me, one of those things that I just avoid doing. I don't think I ever do it because it's just the risk is much higher because the squeezes could be so aggressive, right? So you just got to be very, very careful. I think the squeezes on low flow stocks are more aggressive than the drops, right? So be very, very careful with that. So I'll put it on here, guys. It can get better if it can find some kind of support. But right now, this low flow stock is, again, you want to see the opposite of this. You want to see the ramp up and heading up with some volume. Right now, we're not seeing that on Emeren at the moment. FL is Foot Locker, another. Yeah,
Sorry, just quickly on Emeren, it does have also competing news. So there is news which could give it volume,
that could be good.
but
Yep.
may not give it direction. So Emeren has a service offering that they're combining with a previous competitor to create a joint commerce media platform. So that's on the good news side. What's a drag on the stock is they also then immediately registered or filed papers for a $50 million common stock shelf offering, which is essentially a secondary offering. That usually brings the value of the stock down. So Emeren could be in play, but like Carlos said, be careful. Don't look great.
All right, absolutely. Here we have Foot Locker today, guys. So they are definitely popping up here. A nice 8%, 287,000 shares traded. Usually Foot Locker does not trade very well, but they do have a nice pop up this morning. And man, the way that retail companies have traded yesterday might be worth taking a look at here. Now, this pre-market action for a Foot Locker type company sitting on the New York Stock Exchange is actually very good. This is a good pre-market action. On the NASDAQ, for the tech company, not so much, but for this one, even with this volume, that is not bad at all. I like the breakout on the daily, possibly getting above this area of resistance here. You could clearly tell we have some selling pressure happening around that 58, which we are struggling to get above now, 58, 81, 59. We'll see. I'm going to put it on here. We'll see how that is going to trade. After hours earnings? No,
Yeah,
pre-market earnings, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Foot Locker is another one of those that we only see once, 4 times a year, once every quarter.
Yeah,
So they did have earnings. They beat their numbers. That doesn't usually indicate which direction it's going to go. But so far, it looks positive. Like we've warned, though, a lot of these retail sit on the New York Stock Exchange, and that means that they tend to move a little different than the sort of the smooth price action that I like to trade on the Nasdaq. So be aware of that. We've got another one that won't hit your list because it's not either in volume or movement, but Deere, DE is another one that had earnings this morning. The volume's even worse on that, but it's one of those that just pops up every 3 months.
I agree. We don't see this one often, but it is here today again now with a whole lot going on at the moment. Heading down, QFIN today, they are up 7%, but again, not much going on here, guys. Very light on volume on the daily. I don't like what I'm seeing here. We've seen this ticker before. I don't think we ever kept it. It's just one of these tickers that doesn't trade very well. So we need much better pre-market and volume out of this one to consider it. NCTY, we traded this before. This stock is brutal. It's a low flow stock. That can't get moving, but it can be very, very choppy. Volume is extremely light. I don't see anything great in the pre-market right now. They are up only 6.6, 506,000. That is not enough for a stock sitting at 8.3 million, right? Remember, we want to see good volume when it comes to these lower flow stocks. We can see a great order flow. BT this morning is on here again. It's a Bitcoin play. I usually, if I'm watching this, I'm going to be watching either Mara or something in that area. I think Mara tends to be one of the cleaner trading stocks. Their daily looks interesting, guys. Look at Mara's daily here. We got a couple of areas of resistance here that we broke out of. Got toppy here. We're coming back down here, and now we're kind of building a base at 30. Possible continuation today, man. This could be interesting. Maybe a good possible for today. Again, doesn't have great volume at the moment, but the daily does look interesting. We'll see. I'll put it as a possible for now. Again, we'll see how that's going to play out. SKLZ this morning, they're up 2.7, just extremely light on the volume here at the moment. You can see not much going on in the pre-market, the daily. they actually get okay volume, 30, around 20 million shares per day when they're not in play. If they can get some volume squeezed in here, this could be okay. But at the moment, just not enough. SPRT, another low flow we've seen in the past quite a bit. Here the daily looks interesting for this low flow for a possible breakout. The volume is just not there. I'm gonna skip it for now. The short interest, 55%. That could be interesting.
Yeah, should it?
CLOV. Yeah, that's a high interest there, 55%.
Yeah, it
So
is.
we'll keep it on there. I'm sorry, not wrong one. SPRT, excuse me. Let me put this one on here. SPRT. So that could be interesting. And I like the way the daily's setting up here. Maybe something can happen. Again, low flow stock, guys, 10 million shares. Be very, very careful. All right, see what's gapping down today. VRPX. We saw this a couple of days ago, and it traded. I mean, for me, it traded bad. I didn't trade it, but it traded pretty crappy. The last couple of days hasn't really done much. I don't see anything great on these low flow at the moment. 2 million shares flow with only 109,000 shares traded. That's no good. Dan, so SKLZ is talking about a buyout. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what doesn't look so great there. SNOA this morning, guys. Second day after the madness yesterday. I don't think we. I think the fun might be over on it right now. So I don't see anything great on it. We'll skip on it. HMC, man, this gappers list, as we mentioned in earlier in our chat room, is very light this morning. Not a whole lot looking good. HMC is more of a black trade. 900,000 shares trade was dropped here. This is not really in play. Muds this morning, 24.1 million shares float. Again, pre-market action looks horrible. Looks, I don't want to say it's a buyout, but it looks very suspicious as the way this thing is trading with 2.2 million shares. It's just nothing good about it. And look at the daily, guys. Even if this thing had great volume, this daily is horrible and they're barely getting any volume. Just, 7 million yesterday. But outside of that, very low, 3.9, and even lower on any given days here. So I don't like this neither.
This
Wow.
is uh, this is actually the opposite of a merger. They had
Oh,
announced an acquisition or a merger, and that it got canceled. So
oh, okay.
I'm not sure termination of merger agreement, but this is a SPAC. Don't forget, it's just a shell company.
This
So
muds here, muds.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, that's not really tradable. Right. The pickings are slim, my friend, this morning. Peter, what do you like on your end?
I usually when I have a day like this where there's not much that I like, I go back to my old standbys. So
Mm-hmm.
AMD, volume is relatively low this morning, but
Yeah.
it still provides opportunity each day if you watch carefully. Not necessarily at the open, but a little bit later. And I found Apple has actually been pretty good over the last few weeks. So I'll keep an eye
Yes,
on
yes.
Apple and see what it's doing. Those are probably the two that I'll be focusing on.
And Apple looks good, even though they don't have great volume. And I say great volume because they've been hitting, close to a million shares in the pre-market very easily. 513
Mhm.
pre-market on a Friday. That's pretty good. And you can see here how this thing is trading, although it doesn't have great volume. The price action has been pretty nice on it. It's funny how, we've been trading Apple and you look at this daily and it just looks so bad. It's just so choppy. But in here, we have had some really good days. So again, we'll have to see as it tries to get above this all-time highs here. We'll see. I do like Apple's setup this morning, and hopefully can get some volume in there. All right, let's take it to the room, guys, and see what you guys like this morning. Starting with, I'll start with who we have here. Jonathan, you're giving us Neo. Let's start there. Neo this morning. Yeah, I like Neo. 630,000 shares traded. Yeah, this is worth watching. Huge drop yesterday on Neo, by the way, guys. Continues to just plummet here. With so many other things going north, Neo decides to go south. Did Tesla do the same thing yesterday? Is it no? See, Tesla didn't sell off as much. Neo definitely not doing well. Tesla, now that I pulled it up, doesn't look bad today. Almost 400,000, decent pre-market activity. Trying to find some support here at 670. I'm gonna put it as a possible. I'm not a big fan of trading Tesla, but looks good this morning. Heading on down, Fabio, you're giving. Oh no, Chris, you're giving us X. Let's take a look at X. X was great yesterday. Maybe a continuation today. This is the level that I was looking forward to breaking down. This 20, 27, 28. That's a strong level there, and it did break down nicely. So it could be interesting today if we're going to continue to do that. Right now, pre-market action though, not looking all that great, but we'll have to see. Oxy. Oxy, let's see what's going on there. Oxy this morning is down 1.4. Man, look at the drop on Oxy. It just continues to take a hit here. Let's see what Oxy does. We'll put it as a pause for now. AMD we do have heading down to Fabio. You're giving us Tesla. We looked at. I think it looks very good this morning. Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft also doing very well. But I noticed that Microsoft and Apple are both kind of trading hand in hand a little bit here. Even in this pre-market, you see Microsoft take off here, and Apple is doing the exact same thing. So I'd rather watch Apple. If you like Microsoft, you can watch Microsoft, but I think Apple has a better price action activity and volume for sure. Although Microsoft has not stayed behind. I think yesterday in the pre-market, they had 1 million shares traded, which we usually don't see that out of Microsoft. So that was pretty nice. Alfredo, you're giving us NVIDIA. Again, another tech company that's also been in play. I'm just going to keep an eye on Apple, guys, when it comes to these tech companies. And I'll wait for you guys to throw something out. Something gets going really good on Microsoft or NVIDIA, just let us know. We'll definitely keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
Emrin,
I was just
yeah.
looking at Nvidia myself, and it doesn't look bad. I don't
Hmm.
love the daily, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yesterday it set such a big range that we could have an inside day and still see a lot
Yes.
of opportunity for movement. So we'll see what happens here today.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, all these tech companies seem to have had a big day yesterday. You can take a look at Apple. I think that's one of the better ones to trade. But again, do what you're good at. I know people are great at trading Microsoft. You're great at trading Nvidia. Do what you're definitely good at. Emrin, yes, Emrin has potential, guys. Absolutely, it has potential. I don't see it right now, but it has potential. To get going here. It's only 8:50. We got a couple hours to go of market hours, right? So it can do something right now. I just don't see anything great on it. There's no strength in the pre-market as far as since we gapped up. Since we gapped up, there hasn't been no strength on here. And I agree with you, Ron. It's a scalping ticker. You don't want to. You're not sitting here waiting the entire day. You want to get in and out as quickly as you can if the volume is there. Apple is good. We have that on deck. Tesla is good. I have that as my secondary. mRNA. Let's take a look here. mRNA. I see a couple of people throwing that out also on YouTube. Thank you for that. mRNA this morning. I think it's going to be in play. I think it's going to be in play. It has been the last couple of days, with some really good days in there, some so-so days as like yesterday wasn't all that great, but it still moved fairly decent. We just had other stocks that just crushed it. But what I like about mRNA, we have this level here. What is this? Around 372 or so. We could actually take the previous day close, which is sitting right on here. And let's see. We're slightly below that. It looks like it's trying to climb up and stay above this. Let's see where it goes, guys. Let's see where it goes. I think mRNA is definitely going to be in play for the last couple of days. Neos we have on deck. Go VX, I believe. Is this a what is this? Go VX. No, it's not an EV. I don't think it is. Confusing it with something else. Go VX. Let's see here. Go VX. What is this? It's a pharmaceutical. GeoVax Labs. It's got some volume here. 14 million shares traded. What's the float? We're looking at 6 million. We'll put it on here. We'll come back to it. I think it's got volume, but again, it's missing something here. I can't tell what it is right now. I don't see this one as a great one for low flow stock. But we'll have to give it a little bit. All right. Maybe if we can get above the VWAP here and start showing some strength, maybe that could be a little bit nicer. Neo is good. Nvidia, we looked at Baba. Baba was great yesterday, guys. Really, really good. Continues to just drop here. I mean, this thing is just not having a good time, guys. Not having a good time. Red days after red days, gap downs after gap downs, and today they're just trying to hold on to something. They got some volume in here. I think the pre-market might be choppy into the market open when the volume comes in and they decide what we are going to do here. Now, Peter, you said it best. It is Friday, so that volume might not be as great as other days that we've seen this week. So it might die down very, very early on. Chris, I agree.
Yeah.
X never looks that good in the pre-market. You're right. X doesn't look great in the pre-market. I traded so well yesterday. I actually had a good time on X yesterday, so we'll throw it on here. We'll see where it goes.
A few
Right.
people in the room are talking about Tesla. So I
Yeah.
remembered that they had their AI day last night. It started at 8 o'clock, I think, Eastern. And the article I'm reading says Tesla's AI day more artificial than intelligent. But it's humorous to me that he started with a dancing robot on stage. So I guess after the feedback from the last time Elon tried to dance on stage, he outsourced that to a robot now. But he claims that by next year he's going to have a humanoid AI robot in production, which, based on his track record of producing things, yeah, that's going to happen in maybe 2027.
Yes. Yes.
Because he's just not on schedule. I think what's likely to happen is, it'll be a few years later, we won't hear anything, and then Elon will announce that the last year and a half he's not appeared in public, it's all been his robot. So, and he'll go with the launch that way. So we'll see what happens. I honestly don't expect that to have much of an impact on the stock today. I think analysts and the heavy investors know by now that any proclamations, announcements made on this type of stuff from Elon are highly skeptical, and the stock tends to just do its thing and just ignoring, any of those types of statements. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's take a look over on YouTube. What do we have here? XOM, Ali. Let's start there. XOM. This is a foreign stock. It usually does not trade very well. It's had a couple of days where it's done something. They've been dropping down quite a bit here. But again, I'm just concerned with how choppy it can be at times. So I tend not to trade this one. I believe it's ExxonMobil, right? ExxonMobil. Yeah. So again, I'm not a big fan of this one. Pre-market, just looking at this alone, there's really not a lot going on. Volume is very light, and you're only gapping down 1%. And just no pre-market action right now. GoVX, we did look at Corey. Yeah. So GoVX, I put it on here. 15 million shares traded so far. It is up 68%. I would love to see this get above this. What's the float on this? What's the float? GoVX. GoVX, what's the float again? 6 million. I have 6 million on trade ideas.
yeah,
It seems
5.8.
higher. The way it's trading seems a little bit higher. But again, we'll have to see how this thing plays out. Right now, with that much volume, I would love to have seen some patterns like we saw in Sanoa yesterday, right? Nice ABCD patterns showing strength and just constantly breaking pre-market highs. We're not seeing that here. We had one big move here, and now we're just kind of making down like a lower trend. So we need to somehow get back above the VWAP and see if this thing can become strong. But at the moment, we have a high of 9 and we're hanging out at 727. It's not really a good look for them at the moment. So be careful with this one. No shares for sure with IV. Not that I recommend shorting low flow stocks. Be very careful with that. We'll have to keep an eye on it. I have it down here. We can come back to it a little bit later. mRNA, we looked at. I think it's in play. Baba. Did we put Baba? I thought Baba looked good. Didn't Baba look good?
Yeah, Bobble actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. I
like
thought we put that on there. All right, so I'm gonna put Baba on a secondary for now. GRNG. GRNG. No, this is more of a penny stock. I don't like these at all. I don't think they trade very well for our strategy. So you're going to see insane volume, 20, 50, 30 million shares traded on these penny stocks. And you'll see this gap up 100 something percent. But again, they just don't trade very well. The price action is very different on these lower flow stocks. Level 2, how do you read it? Everything looks good. Everything looks good on the level 2, right? You got tons of stuff. So it's not really one that we trade, that we focus on. PLTR. Let's take a look there. PLTR. That is a very long name. Carlos Javier Garcia Lopez Dejaro. Is that your real name? I'm sorry, I'm diverting here, but I want to know if that's your real name. That is, I would love to see a driver's license or takeout food or something. That is, they were like, how many people are picking up? But nice. Okay. Macy's here. Macy's today, I don't know, Tempo. Macy's is pretty flat right now. It does got some volume. I think we might get something out of it, but I'll wait for that to hit the scanners. Before we move on there.
Just to answer a question on YouTube, T-Silk 23 is asking what fits our definition of a low float. Generally, I think we all sort of use a different marker. I personally will put anything under 25 million shares as a low float. Anything under 10 million shares, I consider a very low float, which just means I treat with extra caution. But those numbers are fluid because, as Carlos was just pointing out, you can get some stocks that have higher floats that trade like a low float. You got to be aware of that and take them with caution. Whereas other things with lower float numbers that can actually trade fairly reliably. So, but that's my general guideline.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So yes, that is his actual name. Two surnames in Spain. Wow. Okay, that could definitely make your new name pretty long there. So shout out to Spain and our viewers over in Spain. And if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for joining this morning. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. We really, really appreciate it. Apples, we have Apple here on deck too. Their pre-market looks very good, guys. That's on deck as well. All right, guys, we have a okay list. Foot Locker, AMD, Apple, Neo. We have mRNA here as well. We have a couple of secondary stuff going on here, some low floats. Again, nothing that is looking overly amazing. It is Friday. Our patience is going to be tested as traders. Let's make sure we don't give in to temptation and start trading stuff that's not really in play or part of your trade book. With that said, let's go over to announcements. We'll come back and chop up this list.
Okay, everybody. Well, we have sort of completed our major activities for the week, but we always have another week lined up for you. Last night we did Thor's Day, our mentorship session with the great, the one, the only Thor Young, who led our those that joined through some great Q&A, as well as some insight into how he trades and how you can apply it to your trading. Next week, we will have Jared talking about the king of levels, the previous day close. And Thor himself, in fact, talks about how that's one of the 4 that he looks at. Jared uses it very heavily, and he will sort of show you how you can apply it and sort of get more value out of it. I think it's on most of our charts, but you may or may not pay attention to it. The week after, Thor is going to be back on the 31st of August. Talking about tape reading. So he's going to go through a 101 course. So starting from the beginning, how can you leverage the tape? This is your time and sales and all of the orders that go through what does it mean? How do you use it? What should you pay attention to? And frankly, what should you ignore? Both of those are at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we always have our psychology series. Next week, no, this was this past week. Sorry, Mike presented his Module 3, Discipline of Trading. That should be posted by now. If not, it'll be up soon. And next week, Dr. Katz will be doing his town hall. So we have a couple of members who will be sharing their stories and what they've learned from their experiences with us. And Dr. Katz will be there to provide insight and feedback as well. So also at 8 o'clock, this time on Wednesday, the 25th of August. We continue to accept donations and super chats. If you're doing that, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Every dollar goes to charity. So we'll be donating that at the end of each month. I know many of you have asked for, can you sort of tell me what the numbers are? I don't have those. So maybe we'll work at for next week, see if we can sort of get an update as to where we're at on the month. Like Carlos and I have said, we'd love to see sort of a $5,000 be that target. We're certainly not there yet, but maybe we'll be able to find out for next week sort of how close we are, and we can give you an update. But keep them coming. We love them, and thank you so much for that recognition for what we do. As always, too, if you can give us a little thumbs up or subscribe to our channel, that subscribing allows you to sort of see when we have new updates and when we get new videos posted. Andrew often posts his trade summaries, as well as some of our other moderators that post their summaries each day, and that'll give you insight into that. If you are a member and you want to join, submit a trade, for the member trade of the day, then please do so. We'd love to see it. We love seeing the great trades. Do it via Twitter using the tags and the hashtags you see there on the screen. And we announce each day the trade of the day as well as the trade of the week at the beginning of each week. So keep them coming, guys. You've had some fantastic trades recently. And I got to say, for all of our male traders out there, we got to step it up because, frankly, the women have been showing us up with fantastic trades, and it's great to see. So keep them all coming. And if you wanted to join us here in the community, use the code PREMARKET24 to get a $24 one-week trial that gives you access to our onboarding classes, as well as, of course, live trading all day for an entire week in the room. It gives you a great sort of insight to the room, and you can figure out, is it for you? Not every community is for every trader, but we are welcoming, and I think you'll find it a great place. If you're sort of like-minded as we are and serious in your trading. That being said, we're serious. We always like to have fun. So, Friday afternoons tends to be when I start having fun because I get bored. So If you join, hopefully we'll see you in the afternoon, and we can sort of enjoy the close of the market. All right. People are talking about Bubba. It seems to be moving right now. Let me take a peek. Oh, we've got a big move up on it. So if you're in it, then good for you. All right.
Very nice.
Last thing I'll just mention, if you are going to join, you can join as an elite member. You can get 40% off that elite membership using the code SUMMER40. So sorry, Carlos, I was jumping around there, but I got distracted. So anyways, with that, let's get to setting some levels. I will say, by the way, we actually have an IPO. If you heard me earlier this week, there's been 0 IPOs. I just like the fact there's something on the list. It tells me my list is at least still working. I guess there really was just no IPOs all this week. So it's only a SPAC. I don't normally trade them, but the fact there's something on the list has got me excited. So at least things are working. So all right.
Absolutely. Guys, Baba here taking off nicely. We'll move this up to our main list because that is looking very interesting. Any news on this? It's got to be something going on with that type of volume.
I didn't see anything in the last few minutes that caused the immediate jump. I guess people woke up, 9 o'clock hit, and they said, "Oh, we better get to our terminals and start
let's get trading."
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's take a look at our list. Again, not a blockbuster list today, and we can see that based on some of the names here. Foot Locker retail company here looking very good right now. Pre-market action actually is pretty amazing on Foot Locker right now, up 10%, 440. And if there's any indication of what Macy's and Coast did yesterday, hopefully this can follow in those footsteps. So Foot Locker looking very good right now. AMD, guys, on this list here. AMD has been great to trade over the last couple of days, losing some ground here. Lost this nice level here at 106 yesterday. I'm not sorry, 2 days ago. We tried to get above that, we couldn't, and now we're just hanging out at 104. We'll see. We need some volume in here, but it's good to have a AMD on here. Apple looks good, great pre-market action. Volume is starting to come in now. It's trying to get to that 1 million shares traded there. But again, the pre-market action activity does look very good on Apple. We'll keep that one on there. NEO is interesting as well after such a beat-up day yesterday, looking to stay in the green this morning. mRNA also looking to hold this level of support. That has been great support for them for the last couple of days. And Baba's just taking off here now with some good volume. So someone knows something. We got to find out what that something is. All right, let's do levels. Let's start here with Foot Locker. High of the pre-market at the moment is going to be somewhere up there. But you know what? I'm more interested right now in this level here in the pre-market. This 59.20, because we did battle with that quite a bit. So 59.20, I'm going to mark that down because you can see here the struggle it had getting above that. Once it got above that, you can see the volume coming in nicely. So I definitely want to have that on there regardless of the pre-market high is going to be. We'll put the pre-market high in a second there. Let's let it settle down. But actually, you know what? Pre-market high might be the top of this level here. We'll see. We'll mark it in a second. Towards the bottom, low of the pre-market sitting at 55.70. We'll slam a level there. And then above that, this daily is not great, but we'll do the best we can to find some really strong levels here. We have one right on here, 55.52. Nice area of support happening here. A couple of touches in our daily here as well. Look at the support happening there, more support and resistance over here. So you got a lot of touches around 56, 54. Another great reversal here. We have a 58, 51. So we'll throw a level there as well. Nice rejection there coming back down. Above 59.25 and our pre-market high looks to be 60. So we'll mark that down for now. So 60 on the dot is our pre-market high. Above that, we do have a nice area here, guys. Tons of touches on the 61.09 there. You can see that there. Again, not the best daily. Foot Locker doesn't trade a whole lot of volume, guys. If you look down here, nothing above 3.7 the last 3 months, right? So kind of tells you how much volume you're getting here. You're not going to get a great daily usually when you're trading that much volume, right? But you got a couple of areas we can mark down that look the best. You have 62.56. So a couple of levels towards the top, couple towards the bottom. I think we're pretty much set here. Pre-market action looking very nice this morning. Let's see if that can continue. Almost 500,000 shares traded on Foot Locker today. Here is AMD. Towards the top, guys, you got plenty of resistance levels. Everything's going on towards the top. I don't think you need to really mark down anything. The only thing you probably want to put on there is just the high of the pre-market at the moment at 104.56. Towards the bottom, you got the previous day close and the low from yesterday and 2 days ago. Very close there as well. If we were to lose that, we've got some clean levels. Let's go for the main levels right here. Clean level here at 95. We're not going to get there. I don't think that's happening unless Peter pulls out all his shares. 98.42
I
is
hope
another
not.
one. And we have another one here at 101.39. In here, we got a nice big gap, but unless you go into this, there's nothing on the daily. Unless you go into this intraday, you can find some stuff there. But I'm thinking AMD is not going to really lose all these levels. I highly, highly doubt that. We're going to need a very strong move towards the downside from the tech sector, from the market to be able to do that. I don't think that's happening, especially not on a Friday. Here's Apple in the green at the moment. We're stuck between the highs and lows of the last two trading days. Previous day close, you're pretty much set right now here. So I don't think you need to add anything. Maybe towards the bottom right over here, you got an area where a lot of touches recently at 145.49 right on there. Outside of that, I think you're pretty much set. Let's mark down the high of the pre-market at 147.50, and I think that's all you need. There's plenty of levels here on Apple at the moment. Here is Neo's 700,000 shares traded. Good pre-market action so far. Starting to pick up nicely too. Look at the difference before 8 a.m. This is not good. This is starting to get a little bit better, and this is getting even nicer, right? So it's just getting better and better by the minute as more volume continues to come in here. Had a rough time yesterday, looking to kind of recover a bit here and gain some ground towards the upside. So that is looking nice. Towards the top, guys, highs and lows from the last two trading days, doing a pretty good job. I'm going to mark this low here of this day here where the price action is right now. It's going to be exactly 36.84 based off this low here. Right, you have your last two trading days here, but I'm going to add this low because we're kind of it's a little struggle, not much, but we'll add that low there on the daily. We'll see if we can break to get a new pre-market high in a second. Towards the bottom, you got the previous day close, and I'm going to just mark down 35.78 as the low of the pre-market right now. So Neil looking good, guys, looking pretty nice this morning, trying to get something going here, and volume is pouring in. That is very, very nice. Here's mRNA. I think mRNA has been in play, has been trading well the last couple of days, as we've been mentioning throughout this week. 363 on the dot is the low of the pre-market, and then we also have 350.50 all the way down here. That's a good one as well. And look at this pre-market low, also showing some areas of resistance as well and support here. So we'll see if this bounce is going to continue. Trying to get into the green, guys. This thing was down pretty significant today. And it's trying to recover pretty nicely right now. So mRNA definitely in play. Towards the top, you're coming up against the previous day close, the highs and lows from the last two trading days. I think you're looking pretty good on mRNA right now. All right, Baba continues to take off here. Towards the bottom, you have your previous day close, you have your low of the pre-market, and you have your low from yesterday. So tons of resistance on there. I don't think you really need to mark. This is your low of your pre-market here. I don't think you need to worry about that too much. You got tons of other support happening here that are pretty much taking care of you there. Let's see where pre-market high goes. I won't mark it until we actually stop moving up. So we'll see where that goes there. But we do have the highs from the last two trading days and the lows from the last two trading days doing some good levels here. Now, if we were for some reason to slam back down, where are we sitting as far as the anything lower than this level? Yeah, we're going back. Oh, yeah, we did this yesterday, I believe. We're going back to 2019 timeframe. This is our previous day close right here where we're bouncing from now. If we were to dip lower than that, we're probably looking at 155. Again, not a whole lot to go by here, especially this daily. It is not great, but 155.70 looks good. And just another one, just in case, 151.79, just in case we do decide to slam down here. Not the case right now, guys. Looking very good. Up 2.5, 1 million shares traded on Baba, man. This thing is on fire. Has anything come out, Peter, yet or no?
No, I haven't seen anything. So, like I said, I think everybody just woke up to it.
Just woke up. All right. Perfect. Guys, that is our list right now. AMD, Foot Locker, AMD, Apple, Neo, mRNA, and Baba. Secondary list, we have Tesla. I think Tesla, it could be a good one today. Definitely.
Actually,
Yeah. Got
right.
something?
Just searching. There's some general news out there. That it was just announced at 9:10,
Mm-hmm.
which I sort of coincides with this move. Anyways, that the Chinese Regulatory Commission is going to create conditions so that they'll have audit cooperation with the U.S. That's the first time they've ever suggested that they would actually cooperate with U.S. authorities to sort of manage and audit any company that is based in China. So that is significant. I'm surprised I mean, I guess that's good for Baba, as Baba, we're assuming, is a fairly well managed company and we can relatively trust its books compared to other Chinese companies, which we know, have a lot more questions about them. So we could see some movement then on the Chinese stocks as a result. I'm just scanning some of my other Chinese offerings. So Baidu, PDD, Billy, all seem to be moving up here at about the same time. So I assume that's over that overall news that's causing the
Yeah.
benefit.
So we got Billy popping up too here. Yeah, Billy's taking moving good. Let's add Billy to our secondary list. I'm also going to look at what's the other one that people like? JD. Yeah, JD also moving here nicely. This one could be a hit or miss. I like Billy a little bit better, and definitely Baba much better. But JD also could be added to that list. All right, guys, let's get our moderators lineup. Looking forward to see what people got going on here. As we're doing this, guys, over on YouTube, please make sure you hit that thumbs up. We only have 172 likes, which we appreciate very much. Thank you if you have done that already. But we have 569 watching. So if we can get that to 350, that is, I think, a very good goal for us there. We appreciate you very much for doing that. With that said, let's bring our moderators lineup here and what we have going on. We have one IPO for today. Finally, it's a SPAC. WAVCU is on deck today after going a little flat there for some time. Thor, he's looking at Foot Locker, Macy's, Baba, Apple, Microsoft. Dima is looking at Apple, AMD, Neo, and mRNA. Let me get this. Look, not block the watch list. There we go. That looks a lot better. And we have Eamon looking at CGC, Space. Careful with it as it could squeeze today. We have Tiffany looking at Foot Locker, Apple. Secondary, this Neo and Tesla. Brian is looking at Neo, Foot Locker, Apple. GoVX, which is very active. Tons of volume. We have that on our low flow pile, which we'll look at in a second. And he also has Billy on deck, and Thor is adding Neo as things are on. No, that makes sense why Neo was popping up a little bit. See how the news work, guys. Our news, we came out at 9:10. This thing started moving at 9 o'clock. So we're, as retail traders, we're never the first one to get the news. So just keep that in mind. You want the news to create volume and volatility, but if you're just gonna go ahead and trade out the news, just based on if it's positive or negative, you're gonna have a very tough time because you're never gonna be the first one to actually get the move. Jared's looking at Baba. Peter, you're looking at AMD, Apple, Baba, Foot Locker, Nvidia, and Neo this morning. All right, looks like things are starting to wake up a little bit here. Not our
Yeah,
likes
just to
though.
comment on the news, because we had a member who was talking about this just a minute ago, that this is the exact type of news that these days seems to move stocks, right? Really, it was that China will have a hearing to decide whether they're going to allow the audit news. Like, they haven't committed to anything, right? But that's exactly the stuff that moves the stocks, because by the time it's all confirmed and they agree that they're going to do it, the stocks will not react whatsoever, because it's almost like history at that point, right? Like, nobody seems to care. So, the old axiom of buy the rumor, sell the news is more relevant today than ever, because it's this stuff where they say, well, I think I'm going to, right? Like, think about all of these meme stocks we get. Often it's like it's a dream, right? You have a Bitcoin and you're like, you launch the new Bitcoin and say, we're going to do whatever. They haven't done anything. They just said they're going to do it, and the stock will quadruple, right?
Yes.
Like, when we had the crypto phase, there was companies that were just announcing they were getting into crypto, and their stock would like triple or
Kodak.
quadruple on the
Remember
day.
Kodak?
Yeah,
Kodak. I
Kodak,
mean,
and we had what was the most famous, of course, was the Long Island iced tea company, right? That
oh
announced they
yes,
were getting
yes,
into
yes.
crypto.
It's
And
madness.
again, they hadn't actually done anything. They just released a press release. So just keep that in mind when you see these news. Be skeptical about whether it's going to happen, but appreciate the fact that the stock price movement may completely react to it, whether it ever happens or not.
Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look at these couple of low flow stocks we have here. We have GoVX. Again, I like this better if it gets above the VWAP and we start seeing some ABCD patterns, some bull flags, as we're getting great volume, 17 million. But I just seen too many of these try to do this, and then it just never does anything with great volume. SPRT, no, it has potential, but not really there. I like the possible of this, but really not much going on. Enron this morning, same thing here, guys. Similar to GoVX. Again, we're just on a downtrend. I don't like low flows on a downtrend, even if you could short them. So I'm not a fan of these two right now. That could change. Obviously, we're seeing things do a 180 once we get closer to that 9:30 time frame, or even before that. We'll have to see. Look at Baba was completely dead, and now with the news, all of these looking real good this morning. Guys, Brian and Thor are up next trading live this morning for you. Please hit that thumbs up. We're actually at 270, a little bit short of 350. So if we could get that, that would be great. Really appreciate it as we go into this Friday. As Brian and Thor get set up, guys, remember it is Friday. It is a summer Friday. So Peter warned you already very early on. The volume dies down very quickly on summer Fridays. We've seen that from experience. So just be careful out there. You know, when you're watching something, when you're looking for trades, when you're actively looking for trades, understand that the mind sometimes wants to put things there that are not there. So very, very careful with that. Don't deviate from your plan, from your trade plan. Make sure you stick to it. And if something doesn't look good and you end up not trading today, that is perfectly fine. So don't push anything, guys. Be very careful this morning. And we'll see you guys in chat. We're going to hop off. Brian is ready to go. I'm going to give Thor a link in a second for him to join. Have an amazing weekend with family and friends. Remember, follow your rules. You want to go into your weekend, relax and enjoy with your family, not worrying about all the stuff you did wrong with your trading that you cannot make up into 2 more days. It is very, very painful. So with that said,
Peter, yeah, if I could do a little promotion here,
yes.
Jared deserves like kudos. Can you bring up Baba on the screen?
Yeah,
Jared entered this. So next week he's doing a webinar on what? Previous day close, king of levels, right? Using the previous day close, he saw the support there. He entered Baba long at 161.70, just as that volume started after 9 o'clock. And look, he's got like a $4 move on it already almost. So, this fantastic entry. It just demonstrates, guys, we don't just tell you, what we think you should do. We live it. And everything we teach tends to be based on our own experience, right? We've done the, sort of the good and the bad. We've had the trials, and we just share with you our experiences. Doesn't mean it's for everybody, but it's certainly, it's a food for thought and something you might consider incorporating into your trade. So, Jared, fantastic trade, and it's great to see you. Look at that. Like, you couldn't have planned it better to try and promote your webinar for next week. So,
absolutely. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning,
Brian.
Peter and Carlos. So markets have popped up. There's a lot of green on the screen today. I think it's going to be an interesting session. So
yeah, this regulatory news, Brian, with China, I think is really going to spicy things up a little bit today. It seems like such a small deal, but by them saying that they're interested in allowing like some auditing reforms and stuff like that to happen, it might just be enough to get people excited.
I actually think that they're probably some of this price action is probably just short covering, because the Chinese stocks are probably extremely heavily, probably fairly heavily short. Shorted. So, any kind of news like this is going to probably pop them up. I think this whole thing is probably going to be short-lived, but short-lived probably means into next week. So I think today should be a squeeze day, in my opinion. So I think they'll probably.
Yeah, I had Baba kind of in my sights already, because you could see yesterday on the daily, Baba put in it gapped down and then put in a really heavy volume candle. So that's probably exactly right. You probably had some big short covering start to hit right there. So I agree. I think today looks like a squeeze day for the China stocks, maybe, with the regulatory news maybe helping us pull that off.
Yeah.
Other than that, I got Foot Locker on deck. It's always a little weird when it has earnings. So, and then I'm going to check out tech, see what it happens.
Yeah, we'll see what comes here. But Foot Locker looks quite interesting. If you look at the way the retail stocks have been performing after earnings, like Target and Kohl's and Macy's and all of these stocks have been strong after their earnings reports. So I think Foot Locker could be interesting as well. Just watch that one for a bit of a pullback at the open, possible entry. The dollar's kind of flat today. TLT, so interest rates are up maybe a fraction. Yeah, could be. Yeah, we could get, like I said, we could get a bit of a relief rally here today in some stocks. Got a few minutes to the open yet. As you know from yesterday, let's just be careful with these low floats like GOVX. GOVX popped up last night, I noticed. I don't know, it must have had news after the close on Friday or Thursday.
The only thing that kind of concerns me a little bit is the market just had like from 8:30 all the way till, just recently, maybe around 9:15, had a really solid rally in the pre-market, but it wasn't on like the world's greatest volume with the like a really good L2. So I'm almost wondering if we're getting long trapped a little bit. Maybe we sell off at the open more or have like a little squeeze then sell. It's kind of weird to have us. I don't like the way we rallied the market on that like lower volume, but maybe that China stuff kind of helped that out a little bit. I don't know. Doesn't look right.
Yeah, markets.
Today's going to be a no bias day for me. Just going to kind
Yeah.
of let it open and see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'll probably just wait. The plan is to wait for a few minutes, but we'll see if that plays out. Foot Locker is still looking really interesting to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Change where that chart is. All right, well, we still got 5 minutes to the open. Neo's dropping a bit now. Pulling back. IWM's been it's coming back up here. It's just barely in the green.
Solid call there, Spencer. Spencer noticed on BABA that there's a really heavy bid ladder to the downside below 162.50. So we need to be careful not to just assume because BABA's bouncing a little bit here that we're going into a big rally. We actually could just be squeezing with the news now, and they're going to continue dropping it down. So we could have shorts covering and then more getting in at this higher point. So we got a lot of orders down to 161 on BABA. So be careful longing it out the gate. If you were thinking that, I'd let it at least retest VWAP, if not retest 161, or play it short.
Darn it. Foot Locker's really taken off here, which sucks.
Wait for me.
I know.
Foot Locker, how could you? Neo? I want to see Neo come back to like $36, and then I want to see if it sets up there, either $36.29 or $36. It needs to come back to VWAP. One thing that's always a real difficult thing not to do is you see stocks rallying in the pre-market, and the first thing you want to do is just dive into them and get going. But a lot of the times when they rally in the pre-market, they trade like junk at the open.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of be patient with them. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Woo! Yeah. Look at the book map on BABA to the downside. There's some heavy liquidity to the downside and very little to the top side. Thank you, Kyle, for that.
People got real excited about Foot Locker there for a minute.
Yeah, I have things are going. Squirrely is going to be the word of the morning.
Yeah.
I think, Chris. All right, we got about a minute till the open, y'all. I'm going to unlock my montage so I can get ready to trade, and I don't have a missed trade on my first go because I forget. Good luck, everybody. Keep it green. Expect chop at the open. Just kind of be a little patient with things.
Yeah, I've got a limit order set for Foot Locker at 59.50. We'll see if I get filled. Spirit, I don't know. It's pulling back now. Kind of looks interesting. So here we go. Got 30 seconds. Apple's dropping a bit here. We're getting a bit of a pullback. I'm going to move my limit order down a bit here on Foot Locker. I'm just going to, actually, no, I'm going to leave it. See if I get a fill here.
All right, guys. I also made it.
All right. Here we go. Still no trade for me. Apple's selling off. Neo's popping. Just got long some Neo. Still no fill. Still no fill on Foot Locker. Some long some Neo. Just sold some through 37. Sold some at 637.20. I just changed my long here too on Foot Locker. Just got long here, 60.70.
I'm getting a long two on Foot Locker at 61. See if you can go towards 62. You guys can hear me. Probably those guys can hear me. Carlos.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me, Brian? Oh, thank you.
I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. So I'm going to get into the Foot Locker long twos. What we get? 62. Perfect.
Still holding.
Okay. Were you short Foot Locker, Brian?
No. I got long, 61, 60, 70. I tried to get in or lower. I just didn't get a fill. I'm still long some Neo. Sell.
Come on. Pop didn't survive. Right?
No. Just sold some more Neo there. 37.40.
Baba is strong. Baba is kind of strong. Getting a long on Baba at 165. Getting a long on Baba for opening range breakup. Long Baba. I still long Food Locker, but I just doesn't look great. Baba 165. Let's see if we can go to 166. Baba is really strong.
I'm getting out of Foot Locker. Look at GovX is taking off here again. Still holding some Neo.
Beautiful on Baba. Sold. Yeah, Foot Locker is garbage.
Ooh, glad I got out of Foot Locker.
Yeah, I'm getting out of it too. I gotta stop that on it as well. For the loss. My loss was bad actually. Trade's really bad. Baba is 166, holding Baba. Baba is amazing.
Yeah.
Baba is just amazing. Yeah, beautiful.
It's getting a nice squeeze on that.
Like he's coming back up. It's garbage. I gotta stop that right at the door of this candlestick. Can you believe this mess? Baba is gonna be really, really strong probably today. It's really, really strong. I'm actually thinking of if I get a pullback, I might actually add Baba. Baba is really strong today. GOEX garbage. I never ever trade any of these low flow stocks again.
Yeah, GOEX is selling off here.
I'm taking another long on Foot Locker at 69 this time. See if this time wants to go. It looks like he wants to pop, but
I really don't like the way it's trading. I don't like Neo's kind of struggling here at R4. I still have a position on Neo small size right now.
Baba, looking at Baba to add. Baba is probably gonna stay strong today. Baba is dropping 165. Adding a little bit on Baba at 165.90. This pullback on 1 minute chart might be a good place to just load up. Looks strong.
Apple's been selling off.
Trades.
Yeah.
Apple what?
I said Apple's been selling off a little bit here. I'm staying away from Foot Locker. I really don't like the way it's trading.
Trades like a crack addict. Just goes up and it come down.
Yeah, I don't like the way it's trading.
What's Baba doing? Baba pullback. I'm going to add a little more Baba pullback here at 165.
Yeah, totally dog's breakfast. Thank you. FU2U looks interesting. I'm just going back to the scanners because I'm not really liking anything. I'm getting out of the rest of my Neo because it's sinking. Took a long on FU2U. FUTU. Just through 93 here.
Baba is crossing directly. FUTU. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Oh, no, Baba. Baba. Don't go down. See, Baba is doing it in the rebound.
Yeah. I'm not even liking this one now after, I'll just hang on to it here. See if it can hold 93. I'm going to sell some here, 93.01. JD is popping. I'm out of the rest of FUTU. It just is not, it's not working here. Just a little bit worried it's going to fail. Yeah, things are really trading erratically this morning, so we just have to be selective. Might just have to wait. The Neo's back at the View app.
I'm getting stopped out on the foot locker. Just trades like I can't imagine. I can't believe it trades like that. Really,
Yeah,
really.
I'm just kind of surprised. I thought it would trade a little cleaner, given the way that retail stocks have performed this week. So that's when you just can't assume.
Oh yeah. N is really nice. Why don't we have N in our watch list?
So yeah, FU2U is probably going to go.
Yeah, Macy is nice, Kyle. The question is, where do you get an entry at this? Yeah, Macy is at all-time high, huh? Yesterday also had a really big day. It's actually not an all-time high, but it's definitely 52-week high. I'm still in Baba. See if Baba can go back up. I might get out of it, to be honest. Doesn't like it very much.
Just looking at Footlocker for a short.
Yeah, Thor is already short Footlocker.
Yeah. Yeah, I've taken a small size short on Footlocker, 59.39.
I'm still long at that Alibaba too, but
ooh, okay.
Great.
I'm gonna cover a bit there. Covered some at 58.91. A nice drop there. on Foot Locker. Apple's still weak. I'm surprised.
Apple is going to go red.
By the looks of it, yeah. So we're into an area that's pretty congested with Foot Locker. Some of the pre-market action all happened in this area.
Yeah, Macy's is really good. M is really, really nice. It's just a matter of where should you get a good entry on that. I should have bought that on this pullback, Kai. Yeah, it trades really nice. It's really strong.
Yeah, Macy's
Baba
might be
is finally
squeezing.
coming back up, huh?
Macy's might be squeezing a bit here, yeah. I think Macy's is pretty heavily shorted.
Look at Baba finally
Everybody
came up.
betting on their demise.
Baba might go. I'm adding a little bit more on Baba here. Might go for the breakup 5 today. Adding a little more on Baba.
Oh, yes. Just going to cover some more Foot Locker. Covering a bit more Foot Locker here at 50, 58.50. Nice, Thor. I think you got a way better entry than I did. Neo's finally popping up here. Yeah, JD's going too.
My average at Baba is at 165.49, and I have a big position. That is going to be a really, really good, I think, trade. Diamond hand, baby, yeah. See if you can get to. I think it wants to go up to. Adding a little bit more on it for the breakup 5 today. Oh yeah, really. No, I'm getting out of it a little bit more here. Nice. I mean, my loss on Foot Locker was really bad. But I don't think I'm going to recover that. But Baba is really good.
Just looking. I'm looking for Foot Locker. Looking for Foot Locker to lose 50, 58. Looking for 57, and if we get there, it's going to take a little bit of a. It's going to take a little more time here. Spies kicking off.
Baba
Yeah,
has this level
Qs are
167. I'm going to hold Baba. Yeah, Spy is breaking out. Come on, IWM. Yeah, Qs and are running up. Wow, look at this volume. Did you see this volume on Spy? Jared mentioned that it's going to go back up.
yeah.
Everything is going up except this piece of garbage. Like 2,000 garbage companies in this IWM, they're not moving. No, Hakun. I just came in my flight. I'm in the lounge. I'm in the lounge. I just arrived, so I just came in. To be honest with you, no, that's I didn't have a lot of preparation. I just set up my computer, and I just made it. Thanks, Thor, for covering. And then I came and lost everything I had in Foot Locker. I wish my flight was delayed a little bit. I'm getting a long on Foot Locker here at 58.64. It looks like wants to get a long on there.
Nice. You're trading against me and Thor. It
okay,
does look
fine.
like it's right. It really sold off, so it does need to consolidate here. I'm not. I'm going to keep my what I have. I'm going to keep my short what I have left on Foot Locker, as long as it stays below the 9 moving average on the 2-minute
No,
chart.
I think my long is a little premature, to be honest with you. Let's see what happens.
No, I could pop up here. I could see it popping up.
John, day traders, the only people who sometimes wish for delayed flight. How do you go? Because there's more delay in you losing money. See if you can get to 50 now. I think Foot Locker still has a little bit of room down in it. I think I got a premature long on it. Yeah, see, kind of knew that. Baba is pulling back. Yeah, Baba is coming back to my break-even point. And I'm getting out of Baba. I'm all out on Baba. Foot Locker, I think it was a little bit premature. I'm getting out of Foot Locker. Yeah, I still have room. I think it goes to 50, low 58 and stuff.
I have an order in at 57. I have an order at 57.97 for another fill on
This drop.
on Foot Locker.
Kyle, what happened here? TQQ might pop up. TQQ might pop up. I'm getting a long on TQQ at 134 for the breakout.
Nice. I was gonna add to that short if it got to the V9 moving average, but it never got there.
Yeah, I'm getting a long on TQQ at 134.20. Let's see if we can get a big pop on it. Apple is breaking out the high of the day. Qs are strong.
Come on, Foot Locker. We need the garbage sound from the alley.
I know, man. I miss my phone. Actually, I'm going back to Vancouver because I lost so much money in the last couple of days that I need to make it back. So I actually canceled my Ecuador. I'm going to go back to Vancouver. Yeah, including today. Including today losses.
XPEV is popping up on the scanner. Billy, JD, Microsoft, of course. Can't have a day go by without Microsoft popping up on the scanner. Baba's doing okay.
Do you see Baba? This bounce is stopping
Yeah.
off right at the bottom of this candlestick, and it just now rips higher. But I'm getting back in there. If you think I'm gonna
Okay,
not get
here we
back in
go.
there, you just
Okay. Yeah, got a fill on Foot Locker. 57.97.
I'm gonna get back on Baba to go to 167. I think I want to go to 167. I need more here. TQQ is popping. TQQ, I want to get to 134.75. Yeah, I know, Chris. Especially yesterday. Yesterday, I was in a cabin that they didn't have even the table. Also, I was sitting on the ground, and 4 a.m. sitting on a carpet was just not a good trading setup.
In your underwear.
I was even naked. I was not. Let's see if TPQ goes up.
Okay, so I'm pretty much out of Foot Locker right now. Maybe I'm going to regret that, but had a nice run on it. Recovered what I lost on that first trade.
Wow, beautiful. See, Thor, that's what you should do. Thor, you should really trade these leveraged ETFs when you're trading SPY or Q and stuff. They are actually really nicely traded, because sometimes you read really good price action in SPY or Apple. I mean, TQQs have give way more opportunity to trade it like that. I can't believe the Foot Locker is just setting up like that. Baba. Yeah, so be careful. They are a little bit addictive. 134.75. I should have taken big size on TQQ. Foot Locker, yeah, it's just
Yeah, Foot Locker was a good trade for me. Neo had a good trade on that one. So right now I'm flat, basically, no positions. Just looking for something else here to trade. Macy's actually went red on the day after that pop. Futu, FU2U. It's too early for oh, it did pop further. Jeez. Little bit early for a 920 trade, but it could actually, you're right, could be worth watching for 920.
TQQ is still running up.
I think, yeah, Foot Locker. It's coming down to R4 here. 57.40.
Baba, similar. Not cool.
Neo is sitting right on the 9 moving average right now. Same with JD.
How can I take another long on Foot Locker here? Is it you said this is R4 on it?
Yeah, this is a Camarilla, 57.40. So it could bounce here.
Gonna get this and see if we can get to 58.6. I gotta hold in that foot. Baba, it's gonna go back.
There's a nice pop. There's your nice pop up right off that Camarilla level.
Yeah, you can see that. See how far you can go. I have some on field orders. This how far we can get it, that's the question.
Well, it's coming up to the 9 moving average. I'm just thinking of reshorting it. Just reshorted it at 58.27. Short Footlocker again. Neo's looking like it's going to try to break out here.
TQQ is pulling back, still holding it. Time in hand.
I'll cover some here at 58. 58 filled.
Footlocker. I'm still holding my Footlocker. I'm so much down on it, I might as well lose more. Baba, I'm going to get out of Baba, to be honest with you. It doesn't have enough. I'm getting out of my Baba completely. Doesn't. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Really nice. So just can't make money. I'm gonna go do the. I'm just struggling here. Can I come back to break even? Just it's like 20 minutes daily goal and gone.
Yeah, they are definitely not a good strategy. So I'm still short Footlocker again. I'll stop out now at I'll stop out at 58.27.
I'm in San Francisco. I'm coming from Alaska with that client.
Yeah, that's right. You had to go through San Fran to get to Alaska from Vancouver. It's crazy.
And the prices are so expensive. These airlines are fucking criminal. I paid $2,200 from Alaska to Vancouver. It's a 2 hours flight. It's the criminals. They are just one way.
Yeah, but you had to go through San Fran. That was the crazy part.
Still, I mean, well, I had a ticket to Ecuador for $1,200, business class, and it goes down to the South America. These criminals are charging me $2,200 straight to jail.
Was that out of San Fran?
Yeah, it goes to
Ecuador
goes through Houston.
Oh, okay, or through Miami.
No, Houston.
Okay.
TQQ is. I'm still holding some TQQ.
Still waiting for 57.40 again on Footlocker. I don't know if I'm going to get here.
TQQ at 135. Setting some more here. GRNG.
I'm out of the rest of Footlocker. I think it looks like it might actually want to hold here.
Yeah, I think it's garbage.
Neo's breaking out.
I'm Footlocker here. Diamond hands. See if you can get to these moving averages on 5-minute charts.
Yeah, I flipped my position to long after when I covered the rest of it. Here we go.
You can get to 59. You can share it. Let's see if you can get to 59. TQQ.
Wow, mRNA just dropped hard. So I'm long Foot Locker now. So the short off the 9 moving average was profitable, not that great. I'm gonna sell some of that long now on Foot Locker, 58.79.
Diamond hands. I'm holding to 59. Diamond hands. And this is diamond hands. Actually,
Here
I'll
we
buy
go.
them. I'm selling some here.
Yeah, I'll sell the rest at 59 if we get here. I don't think it's gonna bounce much more. Here we go. Sold right at the VWAP, 59.10. I'm glad I flipped my position on that. That was nice.
This is awesome, Thor. I don't know why I didn't have these pivot points, man. This is just look at this bounce on R4. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, that was good.
Guys, you gotta watch webinars by Thor on these.
Wow, lots of green on the screen today. Facebook is showing up on the scanner, the XLV, which is healthcare, a XLK, technology. Wow, Microsoft is on fire. SPY popping up here, new high of day.
Oh yeah, look at this beauty. You get this beauty on Foot Locker. I'm just selling more. And wow. Yes.
Boy, it just sliced through the VWAP. Crazy trading stock. Horrible. All right, so JD possible 920 trade, Neo possible 920.
Good. So here's my situation right now. I have the Foot Locker, and I have some TQQ. I'm still down on Foot Locker, but I'm actually green on the day. That turned out to be a good day so far. And I'm still back holding ARC and TNA. See what's going to do that. Yeah, that long on Foot Locker was really saved me. Still have 1,000 share bet on it.
I'm surprised how much it came back after that sell-off. Neo, I'm going to
really good.
look at it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just thinking about Neo for a long here off the VWAP.
Guys, for those of you who want to learn about these pivot points, Thor has a series of these webinars on the Education Center. Really, really, really good. I highly recommend you guys watch it. I'm probably the last person in this community who add them.
Just selling some Neo here. at the 9 moving average, 37.46. My stop will be back at the at break even now, 37.33.
Yeah, Chris, you have to right click on the configuration external and uncheck including a scale, because that's automatically try to forces in the chart. So like this, you right click on that, study configuration. And for all of your studies, you should do that. Configure external, and then you uncheck the included scale. This is a really weird feature that they have. I don't know
Just
why
selling.
It's just not useful.
Just sold some more NEO at 37.52.
Selling some more in TQQ at 134.40. That was a nice trade on TQQ.
Yeah, nice bounce back. Gosh, I gotta watch Microsoft more than Apple. Microsoft has been amazing. Just seems like it's the new Wall Street love fast on that one. Just looking for a break here on NEO. Yeah. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell some more NEO here. 37.50, 52 sold. Yeah, JD, NEO, they're all looking a little toppy. I don't know what Baba looks like. I'm getting out of the rest of NEO. 59.40.
The locker is bouncing back.
It's dropping. It's coming back to the VWAP. Yeah, Bailey, what's Mara doing? Mara seems to be one. Oh yeah, Mara. Dang, damn it! You know what? That was the one stock I was looking at last night, thinking maybe I should swing it overnight. Decided not to. Nice. Well, hopefully, yeah. Mara's been trading a little erratic, but I think all these Chinese stocks are looking a little bit tired.
Kyle, what happened to Macy's? I can't believe that.
Macy's had an earnings report yesterday, and then yeah, look at that, eh?
Really
It just
nice run up.
yeah, a bit of a squeeze at the open there. I think everyone's been so negative on Macy's. Let's watch Billy for JD for a 920 trade here. Although I'm not as keen on
Anything.
yeah, I know. JD could be a 920 trade. It's going to have to get down to 64. It's really not. I'm not really. I'm not liking that the way that looks. It's setting up here. It almost looks like Neo's put in a lower high. It's like a bit of a head and shoulders pattern. We'll see if it can hold here.
There's a cat. There's a cat mewing here in the lounge. Did anyone bring a cat? It's the lounge.
It's a comfort animal.
Are you kidding me?
He trapped in the wall. Hey, why not, eh? Cats like hiking too.
I'll go grab. I'll go grab a coffee. Oh, actually, no. I absolutely. I'll just grab a coffee. I'm done with my day. I turned out to be a profitable day, thanks to TQQ and
Nice, nice,
here.
Nice, Bailey. You got it on that pullback. Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, for one of my my son's trading accounts, I bought Ethereum on that big pullback. Unfortunately, I don't know why I didn't buy some for myself. Okay, so here's a 920 trade on JD. Just literally bounced. Just literally bounced off the 20 moving average there. So I was looking at something else. I missed that one. Amara's breaking out here.
FL did a V-reversal.
Yeah. Gosh, that's this break of 300 on Microsoft is. I think this is an all-time high.
Getting out of my food lecture at the end, whatever that had.
Oh, let's take a look here, Baba. Could be. It's not really a nice clean chart. JD wasn't really that clean either. Yeah, well, it was kind of a 920 trade. It actually kept piercing the 9 and going and bouncing off the 20. So it did it like once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And now on this last time, it actually dropped below the 20 and bounced off the VWAP. So I'm thinking it looks like the 9 moving average is curling over here, and Baba's now using it as resistance on the 2-minute chart. So I don't know if I would. It's definitely not a pattern I would trade. If anything, I would trade it short and use the 9 moving average as your stop.
Out more on TQQ. I gotta go check out this cat. This is driving me crazy.
Okay. I'd like to hear in the background Andrew arguing with a guy who has a cat. Yeah, all these Chinese stocks are all starting to look really toppy. Now, I don't know if I'd short them here, but they definitely, what time is it? They're almost in 45 minutes, 50 minutes into the trading day. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, we have to be careful here. It's Friday afternoon, summer. I think we're probably going to get into some, I'm guessing we're going to get into a bit of diminishing volume here. And I think we're going to maybe end up with a bit of a quiet rest of the day. Lowe's has had another nice day here. Continue to buy it up. That's funny. All right, there he goes. Did you have a cat encounter?
It is. No, I'm not quite crazy. There's a lady, she has two cats in a box. And the cat, poor cat, she said, nah, nah. Because the cat has no idea where she is right now. What happened? I was going crazy. Am I going nuts or I'm just hearing the cat all the time? Footlocker is garbage. Baba is garbage. Neo has been a garbage.
Yeah, Billy's come down to it could be a possible 920 trade on Billy. I really don't like the time and sales. Let me just yeah, it's bouncing there. Yeah, I'm holding off. I'm not going to do a 920 trade on Billy. I just don't like the way the Chinese stocks are all kind of rolling over a little bit here. Not to say that they won't go back up, but just feels They all feel a little heavy to me right now. And it's getting a little late in the trading day for 920. Anyway, I'm just, I'm happy with my day. So, wow, X really sold off today.
What happened to the US dollar yesterday? It just ripped higher.
Yeah, it ripped.
What
Just
happened
went.
to it?
I don't. It's really been on a pretty solid tear. I don't know. I can't explain why the U.S. dollar is so strong. But it just especially with interest rates that were dropping. I don't know. I guess it's just could be just flight to safety. I don't know. Possibly. I honestly I can't. I can't explain. I can't explain it. It's possible it had something to do with the tapering thing.
What is tapering?
Oh, just the tapering, the reduction in bond or treasury buying by the Fed. They're talking about tapering off some of the buying. Here goes Foot Locker. Looks like it's going to break down again here. Yeah, everything's all the Chinese stocks are looking a little weak now. Baba, JD, Billy, they're all kind of rolling over here. Yeah, there goes Foot Locker, still looking weak again here.
Apple is ripping higher. So what is it that you want to know?
Oh, you got short around 59. Nice. Yeah, it's been a bit of a interesting trade today. It popped. It really squeezed back up, popped above the VWAP, and then sold off again. Huh. JD's back at the VWAP.
Apple is definitely going to go higher. I mean, yeah, I think it probably
Baba's,
won't go to 150 today, but definitely
wow.
the technology is really strong. And I think it probably want to go up to 150 very soon.
Yeah, AMD could be a 920 trade. I just, the problem with this, the problem with this, with AMD as a 920 trade is it just was not clean. One of the important factors about of a 920 trade is to have a nice clean move from the pre-market, or from the market open, I should say. You don't want to see it. AMD already lost the 9 moving average once. Came down to the 20 and bounced off at once. It's actually kind of, I'm sure Peter's short in AMD now, because it's a mountain pass.
I think the problem with these stocks are they're trading with the market. They're not really ripping higher. Like AMD and Apple, because they're just slowly grinding up with the market.
Yeah.
ARC was really beaten up.
Yeah, AMD's rolling over here. Okay, good deal. 920 on Microsoft. So JD's bouncing off the View app, but again, I think all these Chinese stocks are looking a little weak. I think the maybe the euphoria is out of it. Hey, I heard the cat. Is that the cat or is that
there
a
are
kid?
two outside. No, it's a cat. There are two cats actually. They're in the box.
Oh, okay. See now, if you look at the chart of Microsoft, just look at the chart the way it looks right now. You know, you can see a nice clean move up right from the market open. This is a better looking 920 trade compared to, if you compare that chart to AMD, which was really choppy, up and down below the 9 moving average. The Microsoft chart is a much nicer setup for a 920 trade. See, it's still using the 9 as support, but I suspect it's gonna drop here. It's gonna drop through the 9.
You people in YouTube can hear me too. I don't think they can hear me. Yeah, Carlos is coming up with this weird technology for streaming and everything. Like, you can hear yourself, but you can't hear the Brian if you want to do that. I mean, whenever he's live streaming on YouTube, it's just, oh, you can hear me. Oh, perfect. Sorry. Carlos, every day he's just bringing another rabbit out of the hat. Hey, guys, I found this software. Let's put this one in for YouTube. Seriously, and then you have to mute yourself and you have to use a microphone. And it's Carlos, and every day he's bringing up another trick. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna be done with my day. I mean, yesterday was a bad day, but today turned out to be a really nice day. I still have the TQQ, like 300 shares left. ARC, backholding, TNA, I'm a backholder. I'm a professional backholder on TNA these days. And yeah, so I'm up 300. Eventually lost money on FL, but on BABA and TQQ survived that. And this is exactly what I want to be. I want to be around, my losses and my wins to be like 2-to-1 type of thing. Yeah, if you lose $2,000, you make $4,000 eventually. You want to have that 2-to-1 ratio of your win to loss, risk to reward type of thing. Yeah, there is a trade book available for 920. It's in the webinar room. I think we built it a while ago on
When you're at peak capital?
We built it on a mentorship session. No, It was a mentorship session. It was a Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And a couple of people actually worked on it and made it much better.
Okay.
So I gotta do the recap with this cat. We gotta do the recap.
No, Billy is not a 920 trade. At this point.
What happens? Hello.
I can hear you.
All right, YouTube guys, thank you so much. YouTube guys, I mean, Carlos, you can start the live stream on YouTube. Just wanted to thank everyone for all the likes and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. Our channel is going to go fast. If we get to 50,000 subscribers, we decided to have all, that was John's idea, have a shots all together. So that would be really nice if you guys can subscribe. Thanks, everyone. So, Carlos, you can stop there because it kind of messes up my my self-verification.